Start recording, and then all right, so we're recording. So I'm Sean Garcia. I'm the president of the PTA, and we are also joined tonight by Brenda Colon, who is the secretary. She's waving hello. And then we also have Helen, who is our treasurer and also wears a second hat as our Title One chairperson. Is it? I don't even know what the title's called this year because there's a committee packet. I don't know. She's our Title One head person.
Representative and
Representative. There we
secretary.
go.
So keep
Yes. And
recording
yes,
after
yes.
we adjourn, please.
Right. So that's a good reminder. So today we're trying to wrap up the main PTA general meeting in like a 45-minute window. Not because we're trying to rush things, but we're having our first Title One meeting of the year right after this. It's not gonna be a long meeting, 15, 20 minutes. But we wanted to leave some room for it, and we have to kind of separate the PTA from the Title One because they're separate entities and work on separate things. So we have Helen here. We also have Jenny, who is our Title One alternate. So working with Helen on the Title One stuff. And then we also have Darlene, of course, our awesome principal. And then who else do we got here that is holding some titles? Oh, we got Ryan in the house. He's our SLT parent liaison. I think that's the title.
Something like that, sure. Yeah. I'm gonna change it every month. Something like that.
Nice. And I know you couldn't make the meeting yesterday, Ryan, for SLT because of the snow stuff. But there was a couple of us who were on the SLT meeting. Ryan, you probably got the notes, maybe, or maybe you heard after. I'm not sure.
No, I haven't seen anything. So I was going to ask, like, Sean, if you were there yesterday, if you wouldn't mind providing the SLT updates this time. I'm sorry I couldn't make it yesterday.
Yeah, I was there. So I can try to do some of that. Maybe Anna will come and join us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And she will definitely, because I think she's a secretary, right, on the SLT. We'll see if she joins us tonight. What's up, Rosanna? All right, cool. So we'll get going. Again, the agenda is in the chat. If you don't have it, Brenda could resend it to you. Is there anything in the agenda that people want to add? Is there anything people thought was missing from the agenda? Any updates to it? We'll squeeze in the SLT report either before or after the treasurer report. It says treasury. Oh, nice. Should be treasurer. All right, cool. Awesome. All right, so we'll get into it. So we're going to, we've done our welcome introductions. We're going to move into our principals report from Darlene. You got the floor, Darlene.
Hi, everybody. I will not be long. I just wanted to remind everyone that starting next week, when the building is opened again, we will be doing in-person learning 5 days a week. And so if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me on Class Dojo, and I'll be happy to answer them if you have questions about your own child's placement. The other thing I want to talk about really briefly was COVID testing. When we last spoke, we talked about the fact that the Department of Education is strongly encouraging schools to only test 20% of the school population. And so they've doubled down on that in that they are really shortening the amount of time the lab people come to our school. And they've also decreased the number of people that are coming to our school. So we used to have two teams testing per school. One team worked with the neighborhood school, one team worked with Star Academy. We now have one team coming to test both schools, and they used to kind of stay for about 4 hours, and now we're being limited to about 90 minutes. And so each school has had 45 minutes to test as many children as possible. We've been very lucky that we've been able to test around 50 people in 45 minutes, which is a really large number. And so we're happy about that. We are concerned about the fact that, the DOE is strongly encouraging us to stop testing as many people. And so I am going to be meeting with our building council on Friday, with which is the principal of the other school, myself, and team members from both schools. And we are going to talk a little bit about going to the CEC, which is the Community Education Council. We do want to set up a time to meet with them, and we are going to be asking families to join us for those meetings. I think, we'll be asking really about two things: that parents who voluntarily would like their pre-K or K child to be tested weekly be allowed to give permission to do that, because right now it's not allowed even if a parent gives us permission. And we do have some parents that have said they are actually very interested in having their child tested weekly. We also had some families who have told us they would come back to school 5 days a week if they knew that if they knew that their child would be tested weekly, or at least had the opportunity to be tested weekly. So I will be reaching out after I have that building council meeting to share with you tentative dates of meeting with the CEC, so that if families are interested and would like to advocate on behalf of the school and share your opinion, or share, what you would like to see. And this would also be an opportunity where the superintendent would be there. And so we would love the opportunity to meet with the Community Education Council, and they are really wonderful advocates. They have a direct line to the chancellor often. And so we want to be able to utilize whatever resources we have. So I just wanted to put that on everyone's radar and let them know. I'll send out messages on Dojo as that time approaches. But I just want to thank all of you who've kind of been there supporting us and letting us know how you feel. And please continue to tell us how you feel. We definitely want to hear from you as much as possible. So thank you. And we'll take questions, I think, at the end.
Awesome. Thanks, Darlene. Also, just building on that, the CECs, the Community Education Councils, are currently having elections. I don't know if we've ever had any star parents on the CEC, but if you are interested, we can share that around with you all. So for those who don't know, the CEC is like back in the day, it used to be called the community board, like the parent boards, right? Parent boards, it used to be called when we were younger. So they changed the name, and they're called Community Education Councils now. So that's a good advocacy avenue for parents and parent leaders. All right, cool. Thank you so much. And then we'll move into our new business section. First thing we're going to do is hear from our book fair committee and get a report on what's going on with the book fair. So I think, Brenda, you're going to step in, right, for Marina on this one? And I'll fill in any gaps and we have Liz here too, and Jenny. Is a couple members here, so we can fill in any gaps.
Give me 1 second. I need to pull up the email that my little report. Sorry.
You're good.
It's actually on.
And while you do that, I'll share my screen actually, so people can see the web interface for the virtual.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Book fair.
Okay, so it's 5 of us. It's me, Sean, Marina, Elizabeth, and Jenny. So what we did, we reviewed how the book fair worked in the past. We figured out what goal we want towards to bring in from the book fair, as well as where we want the funds to support where that's going. So in the past, we would get 55% sales in Scholastic dollars, because we always chose Scholastic dollars, but due to the pandemic and being virtual, it dropped down to 25% of sales this time around. There's no minimum purchase to buy books, so that's a good thing. But in order to get free shipping, it would have to be $25. So that's a little gimmick there. There is the 360 showcase that should be, I think, running tomorrow, Sean, if I'm not mistaken, because it starts tomorrow.
Yeah, everything's going to go live tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, starting tomorrow. So the good thing this time around, with the link, you could share with your families and ask for e-wallet if they specifically don't want to, give you cash or, the whole exchange of money. So you could set up the e-wallet for the kids. And it's a link. Once you do it, you just share it out to the family. The family gets it. They say what child, what class, and how much they want to put, and it goes automatically into the e-wallet for you to purchase books for the child. Let me see. There is a wish list. The teachers did set up a wish list, so we just wanted to see, depending on funds and stuff like that, how it would turn out if we would actually purchase books from a wish list, or we would want the teachers to share the wish list with families, or maybe a family can buy one book. It just all depends. We haven't really figured that part out, but we're trying to see what's going to happen with that. If not, like if you do the spare change, so normally if you, let's just say you buy a book for 99 cents, which is not, but just example, your 1 penny, if you spare your change, will kind of go to the wish list for the teachers. As well as we set a goal. Last year's goal was pretty much 325 books, and it was a net worth of $2,600. So because of the pandemic and stuff, and we weren't sure of everybody's financial situations or if families lost jobs or whatever the case is, we set a smaller goal of $1,500 with hopes that families, you know, get into the spirit and buy books. So if we do the 15, that's our goal. And if we do more, that's even better. We discussed advertising for the books, which is the PTA parent list server. We did a 5-day countdown on Dojo on Facebook and any of the school sites. We did. Then it's we're gonna send it to the families that they could share it with their families. We're gonna try to see if maybe at closing circles, the teachers will kind of recommend children, like, I'm reading this book, maybe you could buy this book to read it too. So the big question, what are we raising it for? So we thought it'd be an awesome idea to raise funds for our 5th graders. We didn't want to say 5th grade graduation, 5th grade this. We decided to call it our 5th grade experience because until June, we're not really sure what's going to happen. So we came up with ideas like a doodle hoodie. We'll buy hoodies, and then each of the kids could probably do a little doodle of something that represents them and have it all placed on their hoodies. We were thinking about a yearbook, and then also, since now they're leaving elementary and going into middle school, we thought about a care package to send off with them as well. So then now it's the theme. So we were thinking, since it's kind of February-ish, you know, Valentine's Day, give the gift of love with a book, or revive the love of reading. And then it kind of will roll into our issue with, our reading marathon with March. So then with those books that we purchased, the families purchased in the book fair would be, you know, like, let's use these books we just bought to get our readathon going and stuff like that. One thing that Jenny did mention is that there's an author's read aloud. So depending on the author, they actually read the book to the children. And these are, I think, one of the little faves, because, you know, the kids always have their specific books that they always gravitate to. I forgot how many, I think she said 150 authors were online, if I wasn't mistaken. And with that, they give 150 paperback books that we received that we can actually give to the children. So when we do our read aloud, the children can actually have the book there. And then pretty much it was just Miss Cameron with her awesome video that should be sent out soon with the launch of our book fair. And pretty much that was it.
Thank you so much, Brenda. And yeah, Darlene's actually going to be doing it live tomorrow at 5 p.m. So we're going to be doing like a virtual tour of the book fair. So you can join in at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and we'll do like a little question and answer period. But Liz, Jenny, you had anything to add to Brenda's report?
I had a question about, I know Liz had brought this up, I think it was Liz, about the pep rally. Are we still going to be doing something at the pep rally to do like a book giveaway?
So we did submit to Jody, who organizes the pep rally. We submitted a slide to advertise for the book fair. But we haven't been able to work out like doing a little raffle at the pep rally. So we just got to continue that conversation with Jody. Jody is going to be doing a poll for us for our movie night. I'm sure if we can figure out a good way to do the raffle, she'd be down for it. The only thing I would add is that in addition to the post that we put on Class Dojo that for the past 5 days, building up momentum, there'll be daily posts going out on Class Dojo and on our Facebook page, you know, like how to set up your e-wallet will be the post on one day. The next day will be, these are the new titles for grade school kids, right? Because Scholastic Book has all this stuff already pre-made, so it's kind of easy for us to share. Also, to Jenny and Liz put together a letter to all parents that should be sent out today, I think. So there should be a letter going out to everybody, kind of letting them know today or tomorrow, letting them know about the book fair and it launching and all that kind of stuff. So just we're trying to advertise from all angles. We also have some physical inserts of Scholastic Book Fair handouts that we were going to do for the in-person kids. We weren't in person this week, so we couldn't do it, but we will get those in folders next week. Cool. Any questions for the committee about the book fair? Not book fair questions per se, because that will be for tomorrow's Q&A. But any questions for the book fair committee about like organizing and marketing or suggestions or anything like that? All right, cool. If you think of anything, you can always drop it in the chat as well. And the book fair committee will be having its next meeting after the 5 p.m. virtual tour by Darlene at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. The book fair committee will be having a meeting. It's going to be a short, like 15, 20-minute check-in meeting because it's day one of the book fair. But anyone who's interested in joining the book fair committee, actually Cheryl, our librarian, has just joined the book fair committee. The book fair committee will be continuing to meet regularly because we're going to try to do another book fair. They're also going to be helping with organizing the readathon and all that kind of stuff. So if anyone is interested in joining the book fair committee, definitely let us know. All right, awesome. Cool. So moving along, we go into the next thing is our budget committee. So we finally have been able to organize our budget committee. We talked about it for the past 2 general PTA meetings, and we put out some posts and emails about the budget committee. So we have a little group that has come together to form the budget committee. We are still looking for more people for sure, but we will be having our next budget committee meeting on February 4th, which is Thursday at 11 a.m. So it's going to be in the middle of the day. The budget committee, again, is the committee that puts together the proposed budget, which is like proposed major fundraisers, proposed expenses. And so the budget committee will be drafting that proposed budget, submitting it to us, the general PTA body, and we will be voting on it. Hopefully we'll be able to vote on something next month. So that will be Thursday at 11 for those who are interested. And if you're interested, drop it in the chat so that Brenda can take note of it. The next thing that we have is Picture Day, updates on Picture Day. We've been talking about it on and off for the past couple of months and trying to figure it out. But finally, a group of folks were able to get, we were able to have a Zoom call with one of the picture companies, a new picture company. Brenda, I think you're doing this report too, right? You got all the report. You the secretary today, and you're doing all the reports. Dang, we messed you up tonight. Go for it, Brenda, if you're ready.
My husband goes, "Don't worry, I'll help." What is he helping with? No idea.
Giving you a massage.
Okay. So we had a call last Friday We had a call with the representative. There's going to be a video that's going to get circulated of their safety protocols, because they do have a COVID safety protocol that they're going to share, that they share with us, and it's going to get circulated just to show you how hands-on they are trying to keep everybody safe along with themselves.
Did you want me to play it now? I'm sorry, not to cut you off. Did you want me to play it now?
Yeah, if you have it, yeah, that'd be great. Just to give everybody a preview.
You know I got it ready. You know I got you.
You know I'm not tech savvy. You know.
That better be recycled. Oh, the hair whip. Get it. Oh. These little models killing it. Yeah, I get the sense.
So Dana brought up the question, will they be on site? So good question. We will have photographers on site for those parents that want to opt in on bringing their children in. We thought, because we are not sure the amount of people who would come on site, if we need 1 day or 2 days to physically do just like lower grades together and have enough social distancing, enough stagger time so that everybody is safe and cautious as always. And then for the older grades would be the same thing. Safe stagger time, and then more longer wait time, not wait time, but like lining up and stuff like that. So it's not everybody all at once. And then also we know, since we're a Title I school, not everybody lives in the city, because I'm used to districts. So I'm like, I just learned this, as bad as it sounds. So we know people are not only from Manhattan, so it gives people to actually still, if their lower grades, if you can't make it 1 day, maybe you could try to sneak into the older grades timing or whatever. So it's going to be most likely a 2-day event so that everybody has a chance to come on site from near and far.
Can I jump in real quick, Brenda?
Go ahead.
I just want to add, so the children who come to school every day in person, their pictures would be taken during the school day, kind of on the regular schedule that we normally do picture day, individual pictures only. So what Brenda's specifically referring to are kids who are fully remote. Those are the students that we'll be asking to come in on a staggered schedule, probably after 2:30, after our regular dismissal. And so we'll have staggered families coming in from, let's say, 2:30 to 5:45 or 6 o'clock, so that those people who are fully remote will have a scheduled appointment to come in and take their individual picture. And there'll be no group pictures officially. It would just be individual pictures. Sorry, Brenda.
No, you're absolutely right. Thank you. And then depending on how many actual children do come on site to take pictures, that's how the class picture would be taken. So if it's only one person per class that comes in, you're just gonna have like that one person with the teachers in your class picture. They did offer, because they do work with a company, Shutterfly, that if you were to take the picture and send it in, he said they could do a composite, which is really nice, but just remember, depending on the device, depending on a background, you do want a plain background, you do want good lighting. How your picture looks on your phone is how pretty much it's gonna be in your class photo or your class packet of pictures. So that just all depends as well. I'm trying to see. if I'm missing anything, because I couldn't pull it up because I wrote it.
So Dina asked in the chat, how will they get their picture with their classmates? So Dina, that's a great question. We would never actually have the kids grouped together. What Life Touch does is they can take the individual pictures of students and put them together as a composite picture. And from what they've told us, we have to decide whether we want this as a whole school or not. We can't do it by class. And one thing they warned us is that if you have a class of 20 students, but only 5 of them do individual pictures, that group picture is going to look a little, as Helen would say, janky. And so we don't want that. And so we're kind of thinking about, first, we kind of need to see how many individual composites we get all together, and then we'll be able to decide whether or not we want to do group photos as a school or not. The 5th grade will be the only grade that is able to do a composite picture, but as Brenda mentioned, because of their 5th grade experience and their graduation, we've always had an opportunity for the 5th grade to have a group picture in their caps and gowns. And so Life Touch has agreed to do that. They're just saying with the rest of the classes, we kind of have to decide as a whole. And so that's pretty much where we're at with the group pictures. It's not definitive. We can definitely say each child can have an individual picture, with their parents' participation.
Yeah, Chris asks, what days are we thinking? So the days that we're proposing are Tuesday, April 6th and Tuesday, April 13th, 2 Tuesdays. We would put out the notice well in advance to all of our parents so that people can make travel arrangements and all that kind of stuff. And we'll put out the time slots available. I think we'll try to even probably book people for time slots for like 15-minute increments so that we don't have people waiting on lines and stuff like that. And then we're also going to be discussing with the company potential plan B dates, just in case, a school closure happens or, something, because it's so unpredictable, the world that we're living in these days. But they're very flexible. They're not charging us extra for doing multiple days, which is awesome. They also have reduced their entry level package to like $14.99 or something like that. So very affordable. And that comes with a digital version of the photo. You get to choose the background and all that kind of stuff. The biggest thing, though, that we had from the executive board is we are actually proposing a budget to support this. Chris asked about uniforms. You can opt for uniforms. We will probably be doing 5th graders cap and gown pictures. You don't have to do a uniform per se, though, for your individual pictures, but you could definitely throw your kid in a uniform for sure. We also talked about, before I get into the budget thing, we talked about potentially internally as a PTA trying to make like photo collages of everyone's pictures, and just making like group pictures that way in a cool, funky way. And we could probably work with our teachers and staff on that as well. They probably want to be involved in that process. So the biggest thing, though, is we proposed a budget for this. This is the first time we're ever proposing this, because of us being in a pandemic and because of all the financial strain that our family is going through. While $15 might not be a lot for some of us, for others, $50 can be very challenging, especially a lot of us are unemployed right now or, facing financial burdens. So we are actually, we've put together a proposed budget of $450 to subsidize families who cannot afford the $15. So that number is based off of 30 families. Darlene explained, usually it's around, when we think about like which families might need some subsidies, it's usually around 24 families, 15 to 20 families. But because of this situation, we're going for 30. So $450 is a significant number. So we have to vote on it as a PTA and see if people want to approve that. So that is a proposed a budget, $450. It would be something that we put out an appeal. If we approve it, we put out an appeal to parents. If you cannot afford the $15, we have subsidy opportunities. And of course, try to accommodate for as many parents as we can. So any questions on the picture day that we didn't answer yet? And then any thoughts on that proposed budget?
can some of us donate for parents that can't afford paying for their kids' pictures?
Yeah, we also talked about that $450 and maybe not even coming directly out of the budget, but maybe something we tie a fundraiser to, maybe doing like a raffle 1 month, or even our readathon, using some of those funds towards the $450. And then, of course, we will make opportunities for parents to make donations towards that effort. That's a great question, Kiske. Yeah. There was another question in the chat. What is the price of the biggest package? Dina asks. I'm not sure all the price points. They just showed us that core package is $15. But I'm sure they'll send us a bigger breakdown. The readathon, Dina also asks, when is the readathon? Readathon, we agreed is going to be, last meeting we talked about this. It's going to be the first week of spring. So like, what is that? Like March 21st or something like that would be the launch of the readathon, March 21st. And that also ties in with like our spring break and all that kind of stuff. So that's when the readathon is happening. Any other questions about the pictures or the proposed budget? Any thoughts?
To answer Chris, yeah, uniforms are optional for the pictures. Normally, I think in the past we had only the uniform shirt just for the class picture. So we're not gonna force anybody, because it's a small composite. It's not really like you really don't see the whole body as if you did in a regular picture. It's just kind of like, like from the neck and like maybe a couple of inches down. So I don't think we'll force anybody to wear the school shirt.
All right, cool. So if there's no further questions, I'll just ask if anyone is opposed to us allocating $450 to subsidize families, 30 families, up to 30 families. We might not use the whole $450, right? But up to 30 families for picture day if they are in need. Is anybody opposed to that? See if we have to take a vote. If you're, I see some of y'all shaking your head, but y'all got to give me like a thumbs up on Zoom or say something in the chat.
Maybe a poll so that it's actual visible and anonymous.
I don't think if we have to do a vote, if anyone is opposed to it and we have to do a vote, then we can do that. Okay. But I want to just see if there's any opposition to it. Anyone want to amend it?
Just thumbs up if you agree with that.
Thumbs up or in the chat so we have it for our notes. Okay, I see thumbs up from Jenny, Chris, Helen, Ryan, Liz, Marina, and then others are writing in the chat. Quisqueya, thumbs up. Rosanna, love it. All right, cool. All right. So I don't think there's any opposition to it. So that will pass a $450 budget.
Yes, I was just about to say, I haven't seen a nay. So yeah, let's say it out loud. So everybody on this post is agreeable for the 450.
Awesome. Thanks everybody for participating in that. Moving along, because I just realized, oh snap, it's almost Title I time. We still got some agenda left here. So the other thing that we got going on this month is we are having our first community movie night. Our movie nights have been very successful in the past. One of our biggest sources of fundraising. We're not using this one as a fundraiser, but more as a community builder and a family support event. And so we took some ideas in previous PTA meetings on some movies. We narrowed it down to 3 movies. We are going to be, let me just share this image with y'all. So these are the 3 movies that made the final cut. Crudes, The New Age, was Crudes Part 2, Soul, and then Over the Moon. And so we are going to be putting a poll out on Dojo so that people can vote for their movie. So it's a fun thing that people like to get involved in. But the real cool thing is that this is also going to happen at our pep rally on Friday. Jody's going to be conducting a live voting for all the kids to participate in, which is really awesome for them to be able to have their voting voice in this. And so they'll select the movie, and then the movie will be Thursday, February 25th at 5:45 p.m. on Zoom. We'll be doing a share and, you know, encouraging families to get popcorn and all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's going to be a fun event that we are doing later on this month. Any questions about that? Looking at the chat. Does popcorn go with wine? You know, I'm always down for that wine. So the kids can eat the popcorn. So yeah, so the next thing is we also are going to be doing a poll on the a potential new meeting time for our general PTA meeting. So we had an initial poll earlier this year on this new meeting time of 5 p.m. We wanted to do another poll because we're in the middle of the year. People's circumstances change. That poll will be taking place. We'll be putting on Class Dojo next week. We didn't want to overdo it on Class Dojo this week for the Scholastic Book Fair stuff. So the poll will be going out next week on Class Dojo, and we'll also be circulating it via email. And so next month, our March meeting, March 2nd, our time is to be determined. So we will let you know if we are sticking with this 5 p.m. time slot, or if there's enough votes for another time slot, we could be shifting our meeting time. I know that for those who are on this call right now, 5 p.m. works, you know, and there's always a debate like, oh, you know, like how do we get the most parents involved? But this is the most democratic way that we can do it, right? Putting out this poll and seeing who gets the most votes. So hopefully whatever the new time, everyone who's on this call can still participate. Of course, everything is recorded, so you can watch it at a later time. And there was also discussion at our last general body meeting that the second most voted time slot might be a potential time slot that we can do a secondary meeting that's a check-in meeting. So not an actual voting meeting, but a check-in meeting. So are people still in favor of that? Or people think that's overdoing it? I know some people weren't into the idea. Any thoughts on that secondary time slot for a check-in meeting? Helen put a thumbs down. Brenda put thumbs. Of course, the board members are like, nah, no more meetings.
I just think it's like Zoom fatigue.
You don't have to be on both meetings though.
No, I don't. I'm just talking in general as a parent as well.
I know there's a lot of parents so that can't make certain time slots. You know, they get frustrated that they can't participate. But I guess maybe we can revisit this question next month. It's very hypothetical if we're even going to change the time. We might stick with the same time and still might get the most votes. So we can bring it up next month. Also, too, another thing, which is the next point on the agenda, is that we are finally getting to the phase where we're reforming committees. We haven't had functional committees for our PTA in a few years. And really, when you're thinking about as a parent, how do you become involved? Yes, these general meetings are our highest voting body. We go over all the business here. These are very important meetings to make, but the committees is really where the work happens. So we're really excited to get the committees going, because that way other parents, not just board members, other parents can get involved in what's happening at STAR and what kind of decisions are being made. So we have our book fair committee that's been established. We have our budget committee that's been established. Again, the meeting is Thursday at 11 a.m. We're also going to be polling people to see who's interested in our membership committee, which is the committee that is in charge of like recruiting new parents to become involved in the PTA and the activities that we're doing. And we're also going to be pushing to relaunch our fundraising committee, which I know a lot of people are very interested in being part of the fundraising committee and having a big voice in the different kind of fundraisers that we do. So even if you can't make the general meetings, if the new time slot doesn't work for you next month, I really want to encourage everybody to join a committee. You know, the committees also too are not as long meetings. This meeting can be up to 90 minutes. Committee meetings are really geared to be like 30-minute meetings where we're delegating work. Okay, this is what we want to do. Who can handle this? Who can handle that? And it's not as much work as you would think. When it becomes a lot of work is when you're in like 20 committees and you're the PTA president. And then it becomes a lot of work. But if you're just a parent looking for something to plug into, thinking about like being part of the fundraising committee or something like that is a great way to contribute to what we're doing here. Cool. So I think that's it for our new business. Let's quickly go to our treasurer report with Helen. Helen, let me pull it up. You sent it to me and I can share it.
Hello, everybody. You
I'm
got it?
sharing it right now. Give me 1 second. There it goes. All right, Helen, you got the floor.
Can you hit the other tab? There's a second tab on the bottom. There it goes. Okay, so as of actually today, the total on hand in the bank account is, as you can see, $12,608.77. Since the last time report was generated, I think that was in November, we accrued $1.58 in interest. So that's really just the only difference because there's not much movement. And that's it. Any questions? I'm sure after the book fair and then after we take care of some reimbursements that we need to do, there'll be more activity.
Helen, does that show the Amazon Smile? I can't see. It's very blurry on my end, but does it show the Amazon Smile monthly accrual?
I went based completely off of what's in the bank account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's why that 0.54 cents is where it says business interest. That's why it's on that line. Unless, like, if that money is deposited directly into the bank account or is it sitting with Amazon?
That money should be directly deposited into the bank account. It'll show because it's already linked.
Okay, so then there's nothing going in because this is it.
All right.
Okay, does anyone have any questions or anything?
No, but maybe Jenny, because you were big on the Amazon Smile as treasurer last year, maybe you can give a push for Amazon Smile and remind people on what it is and how it works and what it can do for our PTA. I feel like everyone's on Amazon during a pandemic.
I mean, do you want me to explain what it is? I mean, so Amazon Smile, what it is like everybody has a regular Amazon account, but the school has a specific Amazon Smile account, just where you add it as a as your charity of choice. So you would switch. It's not changing anything with your Amazon account. It's just adding Star Academy as your charity choice of option. And there's a lot of purchases that one makes on Amazon that some of the money can go directly as a charitable donation, a percentage of whatever you buy directly into the school's account. So I don't know if Darlene has, any clarifications on that, but that's from what my understanding is.
I know for a fact that we still have the Star Academy PTA designation on Amazon Smile. And so I think somebody from the executive board would probably have to follow up with Amazon to find out, one, do they still have the same accounting information for us? And then two, an accounting from Amazon Smile around, what funds have been allocated, I would say, since March of last year.
Yeah, because I know for sure, like on our Amazon account at home, it's always logged into Amazon Smile, and we purchased a good amount of stuff, and it says we've made 13 contributions towards the school's Amazon Smile account. I don't know what that looks like, how much it was total come out to, but maybe there's something going on that is not linked that we could check into, and I can, help with that if there's help needed.
Yeah, I'll work on it because I didn't know about the Amazon Smile thing until I went to the school's website today.
Yeah, I'm looking at my Amazon Smile page now, and it says Star Academy PTA has received $751.28 as of November 2020.
Wow.
Oh, we better look into that
Yeah.
ASAP. I hope it's just not Helen, you're muted.
Okay, so I'll find that money.
Yeah.
I just changed my charity to Star Academy PTA, founded in 2016.
Perfect. Yeah. So we'll just see. Maybe it's just sitting in there and it just needs to be forwarded over, but we'll investigate it. And then maybe to the fundraising committee, when you guys start meeting, that can be one of your first projects, is really getting some more efforts on marketing for our Amazon Smile account. Cause that's just an easy way to do fundraising during a pandemic, I feel. All right. Just to wrap up the PTA meeting real quick, unless there's any questions for Helen. All right, cool. We'll allow for some other questions real quick, but I just want to do one last screen share from here. In the agenda, we started this month adding in upcoming calendar events. So if you scroll down in the agenda, you'll find upcoming calendar and you'll see a bunch of the upcoming events, so that, you know, you can participate in, or if you have any questions about it, blah, 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 just so that you can really book out your calendar ahead of time. So I'll leave it like that. Any questions about any of the stuff that we discussed tonight? Book fair, picture day, movie night. All right, awesome. Thank you so much for participating in this month's PTA meeting. Please, look into joining one of the committees. We will be circulating more information about meeting times for different committees. So if you're interested in plugging in any of those committees, or if you're interested in plugging into any other area of work with the PTA, let us know. We always got stuff to plug people into. All right, cool. So I'm gonna stop the recording here for our PTA meeting. No, I don't want to leave the meeting. No, not
Wait
that.
a second. Wasn't Ryan gonna share about SLT?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't there yesterday, so I'll pass that to Sean if you can give an update for me.
Yes. So the SLT, which is our school leadership team, which is a partnership between Star Academy teachers and parent leaders. They meet every month on the first Monday of the month at 5 p.m. So if you're interested in joining those meetings, definitely check them out. And so yesterday's meeting was more so a follow-up on conversations that the SLT has been having for the past couple of meetings. Kind of, there's been a lot of questions about, what the role of the SLT is and how it functions. There's a lot of new members of the SLT, especially parent members. So there's a big questions about that. So there was a period where they kind of discussed, what the foundations of the SLT are, and kind of always trying to reroute ourselves in those concepts. There was also a conversation on coming to more consensus decision making via equity lens, right? So really making sure that voices that are not as represented in leadership positions in the school, especially parents, are getting more recognition through a consensus decision making. And then there was a lot of activities actually that they did at the SLT meeting yesterday that was putting that into action. So they were doing like different kind of cool pieces of software to get more input from the participants in the Zoom call, and trying to interact with people on that level. And then there was a follow-up conversation on the goals of the SLT, again, through that lens of equity. So there was a presentation done on that. And then, am I missing anything? There was a couple, who were in there yesterday.
You covered everything really well.
And I'm gonna
Nice.
mention some in the next meeting. I'm gonna mention some of that stuff. So it's
In the Title I meeting. Oh, right, because they link up. Yeah, the Title I links up with the
right.
SLT's
So as to not be
CEC goals.
redundant, I'll just save it for my little spiel.
Bueno, I'm stopping my recording now.